Hi everyone and welcome to 1/6 Figure Focus, and you are very welcome to episode number 10 of Visions, where every single episode I sit down with a different collector and discuss the past, the present and the future of their collecting journey. There's three things I know about this next guy. Number one, he likes whiskey. Number two, he likes cigars. And number three, he really wants that 6-scale Yondu. Did it pretty much sum you up there?
I would say so. That's pretty good, especially over this holiday weekend. I've definitely had my share of whiskey and cigars, so
And
been
what
looking
about the
forward to
6-scale
this
Yondus?
though. Yeah.
You still haven't picked up that Yondu yet, no?
No. I've kind of, I wouldn't say I've given up, but I've definitely not been searching as hard. There's definitely been other things that have taken precedent ahead of Yondu. Probably just because Marvel is a little bit on the cold side right now, but quarter scale Vader still seems to get away from me. But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I'm finding myself for the moment a little bit content.
Yeah, that's good. A collector who's actually happy. You're the one.
Well, it's been about 2 days, so I give about another 2 more days. And
yeah, but there are solid things to be looking for. I know you picked up the '89 Batmobile. Like that's, I suppose the G word gets thrown around a lot, but that would, I'd imagine, would definitely embodies Grail. That quarter scale Vader is fantastic. I'd be lying if I said I haven't been kind of keeping my ear to the ground in that one as well. But you know, a lot of these things, like you're looking for your keys, you find your wallet. You'll be looking for something else, and then bang, that one will drop in your lap. I've no doubt it'll turn up. So just going to really quickly address the chat. So we have Mario El Profesoro. How are you, Mario? Mario was episode number 2 of Visions, if my memory serves me correct. Another Modu case displayer. I think that's a phrase. I think you know what I mean.
Modu caser, Modu spacer now.
Another Modu spacer, Modu caser. T-Ria, hello everyone. 1/6 Figure Focus and Jedi Night's Watch. How are you, T-Ria? Nice, welcome back again. The Empire Strikes Again. How are you? 1/6 Shooter. This guy's photography is amazing. If you haven't followed him on Instagram, follow 1/6 Shooter on Instagram. If it's the guy I'm thinking about. We have Ryan Smith from the UK. Hey Shane and Graham and everyone to chat. Hello, how are you? Damn, the guest's setup has a cleanness to rival Shane. Well, you know what? I'd be lying if I didn't rob some ideas from Graham back in the DTOF days and the risers. That is a fact.
Sometimes I miss the DTOF days, but
I like how honest you are. I like how honest you are, and that might be something we touch on. You it's not like you have the Modu cases and you're like, no, the Modu case is way better, to stamp out any doubt in your mind. You're very like, I've seen your videos and you're like, okay, I really like the clean display of the DTOF and one per shelf. Then again, with the same footprint of all those DTOFs, you can fit so much more in the Modu cases. It's just a different type of display, but it still looks clean in a different way. Yeah, definitely. Like yours.
I find too that there's actually some poses that I wouldn't say I can't do in the Modu cases, but to me, in my subjective mind, it wouldn't look right. Like I feel like in a DTOF where you have 1 or 2, you can do more like dynamic poses and just focus on that figure, where if you do it maybe in a Modu case, I don't know, I feel like it's almost more museum and you just stagger them to get as many as you can in there.
Get you.
Whereas, you know, you can do a little bit more posing wise with the DTOFs if you want. Not saying you can't with the Modu case, but you know.
And Graham's in the chat as well, saying hello. And we have 1/6 Shooter again. Cool, good stuff. So just in case anyone, I recognize a lot of people from the chat, but just in case you are new and you've just kind of joined us, so this is episode number 10 of Visions, where basically we're going to sit down and speak to Graham, and I'd love to say we, but he's going to be doing most of the talking if I get my way, and he's going to outline the past, the present, and the hard one, the future of his collecting journey. Over the course of the next hour or so, you are going to hear the following sound. Arguably one of the best sounds in the Star Wars universe. When you think of Star Wars and you think of like iconic sound effects, which ones do come to mind? Which are your favorite?
The blasters come to mind. My favorite though is the Death Star. I don't want to say it's a horn, but like
is it a siren?
Yeah, the siren. The Death Star. I can't. I don't even want to do it because I'll just embarrass myself. But and then obviously Darth Vader breathing would be a big one.
Yeah, I love the TIE Fighters and Vader breeding and
Yes.
those Sonic Blast. But we could go on because it just has so many.
Lightsabers.
Yeah, it just has so many good sounds. Right, so I think we've got the housekeeping out of the way, and we're going to dive right into it. So we're going to start off. Obviously, it just makes sense to start off and discuss the past. So you can bring this in any direction you want. You can outline, like, maybe things you collected before 6 scale, but just a few kind of like scaffolds. I would definitely love to know, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat would like to know as well, the what was the number one, what was the very first 6 scale you had? Was it a hot toy? Who did you buy it from? How did you find it? Like, how did you come across it? How did you make your peace with that price? Like, and did you buy it overseas? Did you buy it through Sideshow? Just like outline, or did you buy it from that mom and pop store? Like, outline the first figure you bought that basically started it all. But feel free to, explain other things that you started, maybe you were collecting beforehand or whatever. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been collecting things ever since I was a little kid. It started with football cards, American football cards. Huge Packer fan. I would just, anytime we'd go shopping, I'd have to get a pack of cards or something like that. Obviously, I collected toys, but it wasn't like, I had the Batman toys, the Star Wars toys, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys. But at the time, I wasn't obviously looking at myself as a collector. I was just playing with toys and having fun.
Being a kid, yeah.
Being a kid. And but then all of a sudden, like, I'm a huge movie buff. I love watching movies, quoting movies, having conversations with just movie lines and people looking at me like I'm an idiot. It's one of my useless gifts. But
I'm pretty sure you're my spirit animal, but go on, yeah. I get those looks too. You're not alone, man. Go on.
I just stopped saying like I'm quoting something. I just let them think I'm an idiot. But yeah, then maybe just before I had kids, I was kind of looking for something to get into. I mean, I've always been into sports and stuff, but again, I've always been a collector too. So I actually got into Funko Pops, which when I found out they had Funko Pops, to me, and I never knock anybody that's into Funko Pops because I do still think they're cool. I've sold most of my collection at this point, but I don't put anybody down for collecting Funko Pops because you can collect anything you want really with Funko Pops. Like, that was always the big thing I said, like, oh, you're into NASCAR racing, or you're into movies, or you're into The Office, or whatever it may be, Star Wars. They have Funko Pops for almost everything, even like Seinfeld and every sitcom. And so, like, I always just told people, like, no matter what you're into, Funko has something for you. And it just got to the point, though, where I was an inbox collector, and I didn't really know how to display them or enjoy them as much. And because they are cheap, you can buy so many. And because of that, you just have like a wall of boxes. And I didn't really think it was appealing to me anymore. So I kind of call it like the gateway drug, where it kind of opened the door for other things. I started getting into NECA. And when I started this channel, it was mainly Funko Pops and NECA figures. But shortly after that, I found out about Hot Toys. I don't know exactly how I found out about them, but I started looking at YouTube videos and be like, oh my gosh, like, the detail on these things is amazing. Like, DX8 Joker was one of the first ones I watched a review on, and I'm like, I love this movie, and I can't believe that looks just like Jack Nicholson, and it has all this stuff, and you can pose them. And I'm like, oh, but then the price. I'm like, oh, well.
That figure is insane.
Yeah, it is.
It's just as good as any head sculpt and any figure, and it's it's a true DX. Like, it's
right.
Yeah.
So COVID happened, and my kids weren't in daycare anymore. I was working from home. I was saving a lot of money. So then I kind of finally I finally fell into the rabbit hole, if you will, and I bought the BVS Batman. Was my very first hot toy. I got him loose on eBay for $250, which I think nowadays he's going for $5+. But I always knew, like, my first one would be a Batman, and I thought, if I could just have a Batman figure, maybe a Star Wars figure, I'd be fine. But it just kind of started snowballing from there, and I just got more and more into it. And before you knew it, the channel pretty much turned from Funko and NECA to now it's predominantly 6 scale figures. And I'll throw in, like, maybe if it's Star Wars or Marvel or even DC, I'll do like a TV show review or a movie, talk about a movie or something like that. But it's pretty much just 6 scale now, and that Batman figure just opened the door for my collecting journey, and like I've kind of never looked back. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
and it's still one of my favorite figures too, is that BVS Batman.
Yeah, because that was one of the kind of follow-up questions. It was like, do you still have it? So you obviously still have your first one. And you got it, was it an eBay job? You bought it loose?
Yep. Yeah, and then I just picked up the art box for like $30 separately.
Yeah,
so
I have to ask, because we are like polar opposite when it comes to this. Did you pick up a shipper, Graham? Did you pick up a shipper? You did not. I thought you loved them, man.
I love shippers for selling figures, for the convenience of it, as well as
I
just
love shippers
me.
for getting me the box not messed up.
Right. That's true too.
Yeah. But yeah, like again, I know we're probably going to come back to that as well. I think everyone has different views on to keep or not to keep, to ship or not to ship. But
I don't see why you wouldn't keep them though, because you just put the art box in it and it protects it. And
I store all my boxes. I like, there's no way I'm getting rid of the art box or any of the accessories or even the plastic around the art box for various different reasons. But I had all the shippers, and I keep all these boxes in big IKEA. They're called Samla boxes. They're huge, and you can fit like about 10, between 8 and 10 Hot Toys in them. But like, just by removing all the shippers, it meant that I saved an entire box. So for me, it's just a space thing, and it's like, I don't sell, because I know a lot of people say, like, you know, what happens if you sell? People will still buy them with the art box, like, you know what I mean? But they might say, oh, you have these chancers who might go, oh, well, you know, if it doesn't have the shipper, that's $50 left. It's like, all right, you're blocked.
I say no.
But yeah, look, it's I've got rid of them, but I keep the art boxes in another box up in the attic just in case leaks or anything. But yeah, so that's it. You've outlined basically how you started. It was the BVS Batman, but you were collecting Funkos before that, and I suppose you're not like myself as well. We're kind of in around the same age, I'd imagine. I was into the Ninja Turtles and all that kind of stuff, and I definitely had, like, you know, when I was a kid, like when I was very young, had you know, similar sort of toys and stuff like that, and like, it definitely wasn't a collector, but it was kind of ignition, like, and you know, kind of carried stuff like that into adulthood. Well, I'm attempting being an adult.
And I think that's what really made me gravitate towards NECA, Funko, Hot Toys is the fact that it can kind of bring you back to, I don't want to say a better time, but maybe a less stressful time, a time where you had no worries, like your childhood. So like, just to kind of have that connection again, like just to have that nostalgia and kind of have that collection that represents you is just something that really always kind of intrigued me. And Shiny says that Jetta Patrol was also into Funkos before he was into Hot Toys, and that's how he discovered them. I think actually that might be how I found out about Hot Toys as well, because I did watch him when he was collecting majority of Funkos, and that might have been one of the content creators that actually kind of introduced me to Hot Toys as well.
Yeah, because I remember following Jedi. What I like about Jedi, I really like his production values.
Right.
And he's very creative with how he displays things and how he poses things. And I've always kind of, his lighting and stuff like that, I was always intrigued by. But yeah, just from going back through some of his videos, I realized that he was a Funko Pop collector and then gravitated into Hot Toys. So really quickly, just going to get through these last few chats. I bought, sold, and collected Funkos for years. That's what got me into Hot Toys. Philip Phil, thanks very much. Thanks for being here. Thanks for participating. Ryan Smith, a lot of people seem to start out with Funkos. It was Funkers. It was Funkos. It was Kodabakaya Star Wars for me. Yeah,
a couple of those.
True. I think actually, I'm pretty sure how I first found them was after seeing The Dark Knight. I was like, right, I need some sort of representation of this, and I think I went down to eBay, and you know, I think I might maybe Google random things like The Dark Knight model, you know, like the Dark Knight figure, and you saw all the kind of I don't know, whatever versions, Hasbro or whatever they were doing at the time. I was like, yeah, no, and you see some statues, like, no, I didn't want a statue, and then stumbled across them on eBay going, this can't be real, and then found their really, really weird slow site. But yeah, First two were from back 2009. Since sold them on, but better versions I have. So right. So that was the past anyway. Okay, so
Here we go.
focus question number 1. None of these are particularly difficult or hard anyway. There's no like applied maths or physics involved. It's pretty much want to get your thoughts and things like. So I'm going to keep it really simple. Give us your thoughts on these, Graham.
Well, the Iron Man, I have no thoughts on. It's another Iron Man. It's typical of what we get for the showcase here. They got to give you.
We
some
are
sort
one
of,
and the same, Graham.
Yep.
We are one and the same. Yep.
It interests me the least of these 3.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, none of them are on my radar. I do like the Neo's head sculpt of Keanu Reeves. I think it looks pretty good, and they got the beard right, which they didn't do on the John Wick figure. So I actually painted my beard in on John Wick, but this would be a cool head sculpt to kit bash into like another John Wick figure, if you ask me. So that interests me. But the movie I heard was just god awful, so I didn't bother seeing it. It doesn't come with much. I would hope the price isn't higher than $235, because at anything higher than that, I don't think you're getting much value. And it's weird because I don't believe he's coming out until 2023 at some point, like Q2.
Yeah, I thought like these things usually like drop within a month or two.
Right.
Because I've seen pictures of people from like, I don't know, Secret Base or Echo Base who already have the Boba Fett. Like it's in, have it in hand, stare in the art box and the plastic, walking out the door.
Yeah.
And I think the Iron Man the same, but maybe they've delayed the Neo. So you're not getting any of these. I'm getting the vibe, but the middle one would kind of interest you in terms of like a Kit Bash or John Wick or.
Yeah, it's nice because it is like a one-off or a miscellaneous figure. So it's always good to see Hot Toys doing that. I just don't know how many of these they're gonna sell. The Boba Fett, I'm not going to get, but I'm torn on how I feel. Like, I think it looks really cool. I love how it still has, like, it's the chrome, but it's got like the paint chips still in it. However, to me, I'm a little, I wouldn't say concerned, but it feels like Boba Fett is becoming the Star Wars version of Iron Man, where they're just going to keep rolling out different variants, and people are thinking this will be a grail because of the Christmas episode style or version. You just can't be sure though, because if they are going to mass produce it, and everybody buys it thinking it's going to be a grail, then it might not. So I don't know. It could be, but it might not. It's not a guarantee. So that one, it looks cool, but I have no need for it. Like with prices, how they are, keep going up and up and up. With space, like I've sold a lot of figures recently, and we'll talk about it, I guess, in my present or future, but I don't want my collection to be cluttered. So even though I have the module case so I can fit more figures in there, I want it to still look clean, kind of like yours, like the DTOFs look, and I want there to be space, a little bit of space between the figures. So like for me, I have the Empire Strikes Back Boba. This isn't one that is on my radar, but I will admit it looks the coolest out of the 3.
Yeah, I saw this in the morning. I looked at it and I went, oh, nice, wallet safe, and thought no more of it for about 3 hours. And I was like, all right, I suppose I better put up a video. Things like this is guaranteed views. Like, and
right.
Like you can't always, I found in my own part, like, I think, as a, content creator, it's kind of like, you can't just comment on the things you like, because then all your videos will be like, I love this, I love this, I love this. You have to comment on the things you don't like. And I thought I was fair, like, I tend not to hate on things. It's just they're not for me, but they're probably for someone. I don't know anyone who's like really excited about that Iron Man. I'd say a few people are excited about the Boba Fett, all right, yeah. And that movie, that was a dumpster fire. Like I'd rate the first Matrix film as one of the best films ever made, to be honest. And it's definitely one of my personal favorite films. It just blew me away in the cinema, but they just got bad as the trilogy went on, and that new one was
Did you see it? You saw the whole thing?
Yeah, I did. Like, I was a big Matrix fan. Love the first one, and the second one's okay as well, but like it definitely wasn't as good as the first. And then I found the third one, just they cheesed it up, and just I don't know. I thought it had potential to be amazing. But the first one, that first film, I just can't fault it. Love it. Just anytime I watch it, I'll enjoy it. But the head sculpt looks great, though.
I
think
think
the head
so.
sculpt looks great. The tailoring, the cut and sew, the jacket. I think the coat might be wired. I think by the looks of the photos. But yeah, easy pass for all three of them. I think for me.
If money and space wasn't an option, I'd probably throw the Boba Fett in there. But for me, I'm collecting like mainly original trilogy Star Wars, so I want the screen accurate ones, so that one it just doesn't appeal to me. But I think it looks cool.
Yeah, lots of things look cool, don't they? You just have to pass on what you like to collect what you love and all that, you know. But
that's right.
So that's the basically the first focus. Yeah, and we're just gonna double trouble hit you with two before we move on. I want to know. Tell us about a mistake you made and something that made you learn as a collector.
Oh, that's jeez. One mistake. I think I'm
Take
actually
the next half an hour to explain the mistakes you made.
I'm actually doing a video probably in a week or two, and I got notes already on it, and it's gonna be titled "Things I Wish I Knew Before Collecting Hot Toys." So
I will definitely watch that.
I would say, looking at my list here, things that I've learned.
You're the first person to come on the show with notes. I'm very impressed.
I would say it kind of all balls into one here, where you can't collect everything, and you shouldn't, and you need to be patient and not just buy something that you see that you think you might like. You have to collect. It's so cliche, but you have to collect what you love. I think that's the big mistake I've made, is I bought Star Wars figures that I liked but didn't necessarily love, and I sold off some of my miscellaneous figures because I was worried about how they looked in the collection with Star Wars, Marvel, and DC. So I'm like, I should probably just focus on Star Wars. So I started getting Commander Cody, Clone Troopers, amongst other figures that I liked but didn't really love. And I regretted selling like Terminator and RoboCop and my John Wick. So that was my mistake, and then I sold those figures to get those figures back, and I haven't regretted it, because now I feel like what's in my collection is everything that I love and that has meaning to me, whereas I was like the prequels. I like the prequels just fine, but I grew up with the original trilogy, so like the prequels are cool, but I like them, I don't love them, if that makes sense. So that was the mistake I made, was thinking I would fall in love with it if I bought it. And just kind of like I was getting the itch to buy something, so I would kind of just buy something to buy something. So I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned is be selective, be disciplined, and collect what you love.
Sound advice. So BT says, is second wave for Hot Toys summer coming right like last year? I think this is the summer showcase, and then are there Toy Fair exclusive separate things? I think that's basically it. So, yeah, I'd say you're right. I was wondering the same thing myself. You can get other holographic Iron Man on Zavi for £174, and it's been that price for weeks. Yeah, so yeah, that's the Mark IV. Yeah, they're sitting. I don't have interest in a Neon Tech or holograph or anything like that, but yeah, they're sitting. Thanks, Maverick Collector, for that. And Shiny diecast golden Keanu Reeves breathtaking variant exclusive next year, please. You'll have to buy that Shiny. Come on, it's in the name. Yeah, you know, nothing will surprise me at this stage. So we've delved into the past, and so I suppose we'll move into the present now. So basically, I'm not going to lie, Graham, I've told us a few people come on the show. This whole show, the idea, I got this show from that silly meme, how it started, how it's going.
Okay.
So that's like, so how it started, you've described. So right now, like, where are you at now? Do you know how many figures you have? Do you have any statues? Do you have any quarter scales? Obviously, you're displaying, and you've made the jump from detolfs to module cases.
Yeah.
Do you still have any detolfs left? Yeah, just outline where you're at now.
Oh boy. I would say I'm at probably roughly 60 figures. I've actually sold. I was actually watching. So what I do on like the weekends when my wife and my kids take a nap is I search for Hot Toys collection tour videos, because I just love watching them. So if all the content creators would make them once a month, that would keep me busy. And I just love seeing everybody's collection, their poses, how they have it set up. But I actually stumbled across mine when I first got the Maju cases, and I was just like, I want to check this out. And I'm watching my own video, and I'm counting how many figures I've sold since then, and I think it was 14. And I did this video about 4 months ago. So where I'm at now is, and that was kind of one of those lessons I learned. So I was selling off some figures and kind of righting the ship. But yeah, I have one DTOF case left, and I have my quarter scale figures in there. I have the Dark Knight Rises Batman, and then the quarter scale Joker. I do have more Maju cases coming probably next year, and I'm just gonna do something under my TV. I have 2 verticals that are gonna be on the end, and then 2 6 110s that'll be in the middle, and I'll put each quarter scale on the ends, and then I'll probably put the Batmobile in the middle, as well as maybe the Turtles or something like that. Might look weird. Maybe I'll put Dark Knight figures in there. I'm not sure, but yeah, I got one of the DTOFs left. I've thought many times about statues, and I know if I get into that, then there's no going back, and with the space that they take up and the price that they cost, I think I better hold tight. But yeah, it's going pretty good.
Looks good. It looks good, and I've seen your collection tour videos.
I'm not really collecting Marvel right now, and I don't think it's because it's not the hot thing. I have kind of like a Endgame scene, and most of the Endgame figures are out now, other than Loki. So I'm kind of settled on that. Like, I have it how I want it. And Star Wars, I've sold a lot of the figures to just kind of go in the original trilogy direction. So actually I sold my Attack of the Clones Yoda. I have Empire Strikes Back Yoda coming in tomorrow. I sold my Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. I got the A New Hope Obi-Wan. Yeah, so got some miscellaneous figures that has its own cube now, so I don't have to worry about how that looks. And
and the miscellaneous cube.
Right. So, and then the Batmobile, and then I still have my quarter scale Turtles in there, which people are like, you should sell those. I'm like, no, ain't gonna happen.
It's funny the way people tell you to do what to do with your collection. I always think that is just like, like I think like a lot of the content creators I follow are like a lot of them. I know I'm very conscious about doing it, going like, if I'm on a stream and I'm like, this is what I do, this works for me. Like, let's say I use payment plans because it works for me. It mightn't work for everyone. Right. I still buy things from Toys Wonderland because I've might be the only person who's escaped a negative experience with them. But like, I don't care what other people will say and go, oh, don't buy from them. My friend did this, whatever. It's like, listen, they're slow. I haven't had a bad experience, but I'm going to continue to buy from them because they're the best deals. But you know what I mean? It's like, but that just works for me. Like, right. But I find it really strange when people would say, yeah, you should sell them. It's like, that's your collection, man. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. But yeah, so like, what scale are they, the Turtles you have?
They are quarter scale. So they fit in the 6 110s with like 2 inches to spare. So they'd look better if they were up higher, but I just, that's why I might put them under the TV. So when you're sitting, you have that clear shot of them. Yeah,
I get you. And your Maju cases, is that like 8, are they called 6 by 110s?
Yeah, the 6 110s, and it's a wall combination of 8 of them.
Gotcha. And 6 110, is that like 110 centimeters?
Oh, centimeters.
Oh yes, you're all feet and inches and stuff. I'm wondering why they're called 6 110s. That's what I'm wondering. Like,
that's a good question. I don't know why. They have the 6 series, which are made for 6 scale figures, and then they have the DFs. And then they have the Max, which are obviously the biggest. And I don't even know what DF stands for. Should probably know
look that up. If I ever consider making the jump, I think I'm set for now. But you never know what the future might hold. Okay, right. So what do we have? This is a question. It's so nosy, but I just like asking people because I don't know. It's if someone had a video, like I've done videos before about like my pre-order lists and I've done a live stream, and if someone did have a video like that, I guarantee views. I think like 'cause I would definitely watch. Like if you said you outlined your pre-order list, I just watched it. I'm curious to know what people
I was thinking about doing that actually.
have on pre-order. Like, do you know what I mean? It's such a simple video, but I think the curious collectors will watch. Like I definitely watch. So like, what do you have on pre-order? Do you have anything on pre-order at the moment? It's probably a silly question to ask a 6-scale collector, but
that is not a silly question. I haven't pre-ordered anything for quite some time, but I do have some pre-orders that have yet to be fulfilled. And
same.
instead of pre-ordering right now, I'm just kind of adding it to my wish list.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And then I'll kind of decide what I want to do from there on out. But taking a look at my orders here, one of my first pre-orders still hasn't shipped yet. Oh, I canceled it though. It was the 1984 Wonder Woman. That was one of my first pre-orders. I canceled it because I figured I might get it from Tim Cent or something on eBay when it hits. But I do have Bo-Katan on pre-order. So I said I was focusing on original trilogy, but I will still get. I have Mando still, and I will get Bo-Katan. I will get Ahsoka, maybe a couple others as well. I do have the Nightmare Batman and the Superman 2-pack on pre-order, and I'm still going back and forth if that's something I'm going to see through or if I'm going to cancel
because
that.
you kind of every time I think about like things being reissued and people paying for them in the aftermarket and then things getting reissued, I think of you and Brother Cousins, because you you bought the Nightmare Batman, I think, when it was
peak.
Kind of at its peak, and Brother Cousins bought the Bespin Luke. Was that the DX07?
Yep.
Just before. But the thing they released, the new one they released, it's not the same. It's not the same. Like, it's definitely a trimmed down version, and it doesn't have that there's like weather vane or whatever.
Yep.
But so you're still considering getting the 2-pack?
Yeah.
What attracts you to the 2-pack? Is it the coat or the black suit Superman?
It was the black suit Superman.
Right.
Because I already have a custom coat, and then I actually dyed the scarves, and then the strap on the goggles, I dyed that to be like the darker brown. So mine looks pretty good. However, something that really interests me about the Nightmare Batman is just the updated faceplate, the paint applications.
Right.
I don't think they're like $500, worth getting. But if I would get the 2-pack, keep the Superman, keep the Nightmare, and then maybe sell my original.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. If I get it, I'm not keeping both Nightmare Batman figures.
Yeah. That would make sense. Yeah, to keep the 2-pack, and considering they're improved, and 2-packs. If again, I know I don't really sell. I think I've sold 4 in my whole collecting journey, but the 2-packs, they tend to hold value. Like, so if ever a case where you do have to, 2-packs seem to always do well. That Tarkin Vader, $1,300 on eBay. The Chewie Han Solo, like, they just tend to do very well. And I'm sure the Boba Robo will eventually do well when it sells out. But
right.
Just gonna look at some of these chats. So Mugwump, I love that name. I just like saying it, Mugwump. I feel like I should know it. It sounds like a character from Harry Potter or something. Do you know what a Mugwump is?
I don't.
I don't know. I feel like it's a character from something that I should know. Or maybe just made it up. Mugwump.
It's a person who remains aloof or independent, especially from party politics.
No, so this person would not be discussing things like in art and all these emotive type of things. Like, yeah. Okay. Now we know. Good stuff. Mugwump. The collection looks killer, my man. Turtles included. Yeah. Good stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Fan there. BT, I have the Obi-Wan Revenge of the Sith Deluxe, never displayed. Is this the right time to sell, or price would be higher in the future? Really looking to get Obi-Wan Clone Wars if they ever get. Look, I can't touch that question. I have no idea. Like I'm not going to lie or speculate. I don't know. Maybe Graham kind of tends to buy and sell figures a bit. Maybe he'd be a bit more. Just passing the buck there, passing the buck.
I mean, it depends. I mean, I would ask why you don't have it displayed. Is it just because you don't have the space? I mean, if you really like the figure, I would say keep it. But I would say now you're still probably in your window that you can sell it for a pretty good penny. Obviously, when the show was going, it was probably, everybody was like looking for it, and it was just so hot. I don't know if that's died down at all right now, but I would say I would think the value will still hold. I don't know if it'll ever be as high as it is right now, just because you're going to get another Obi-Wan, probably 2, and they're going to be different. So this is still Revenge of the Sith, so it's still going to be its own figure. So I don't think you really have to worry about it like dumping in price or anything like that. I had the non-deluxe, and I got I think I got 500 cash for it through a local buyer. So
I'd imagine you definitely get $500-600 for it now. I'd say, I remember I did an episode of No Loyalty a few weeks back where a bunch of collectors came on. And I had 20 different Star Wars figures on a list 1 to 20, and we used a random number generator to pick out 3 over the course of the hour-long show. And basically, we just went off and tried to hunt down those figures for the cheapest price. You know what I mean? The cheapest price we found for that Obi-Wan was, I think, $572, something like that. Like, so we couldn't find it cheaper than that. So I'd imagine you're guaranteed to get 6 for maybe 7. 8,
I would
maybe,
say that's fair. I mean, the fact that it's the deluxe and you're saying it's never been displayed, I would say 6 easy.
Yeah.
So even if you can wait until the new Obi-Wan, if that's what you want, sell it now, pre-order that or whatever when it comes out, and then you still have a bunch of cash left over.
Yeah, like if you never displayed it, like it's I'd imagine maybe it's a one you don't really like that much or something, like, because if you've never displayed it, maybe it doesn't mean that much to you or something. So yeah, it's up to yourself really. Kind of, if you like it, hang on to it, but start displaying it. My case has come next year. Painful wait, running out of room. Okay,
hopefully
get quicker.
Hopefully they're going to speed that up come September. So hopefully, they said by 60%. So you're probably still going to be waiting like a year, I would guess. But hopefully it gets a little bit quicker, because I know some people have been waiting like a year and a half.
Yeah, I heard they opened another factory.
Yeah, they will be in September.
Yeah. So hopefully it won't be too long more, Oliver. He cancelled Wonder Woman. Yes,
I'm still getting her. I'm still getting her.
Right. You're going to pick it up from somewhere else.
Right.
I find it hard to sell anything, but I do buy what I really want. To have the Boba 2-pack, a Tusken Raider, and Ahsoka coming tomorrow. And space is getting tight. Yeah. These will take me up to 33 figures. Best of luck with the figure Tetris, Maverick Collector. Best of luck. You mentioned you're a big film buff, Graham. Have you seen Maverick?
I haven't, not yet.
And are you a fan of the original Top Gun movie, Cheese and All?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I mean, I'm not like a huge Top Gun fan, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I'm a big Tom Cruise fan, so anything he's in, I pretty much like.
I think you're gonna like it. If you get a chance to see it. I thought it was phenomenal, but yeah, very, very good. So the Maverick Collector just reminded me of that. Module case uses the length in centimeters in their naming convention. So 6110 is 110 centimeters in length. Thank you, Mario.
Leave it to Mario. He knows it.
Yeah. And what's the 6 for? Because the 6 is hardly 6 centimeters then. Nothing would fit in that. Like, so it's...
I'm wondering what for the 6 scale figures.
Yeah, it must be. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. Sorry, I had a moment there. I had a brain fart. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's like 6 scale 110s. Now that I have Harley, I'm shifting my eyes to your Batman and Batmobile. I hope you have an alarm in your house, Graham. I hope you have an alarm in your house. Yeah.
Those will be those have special. The 89 Batman is a special place in my heart. So anything 89 Batman, it's gonna stay with me for quite a while.
Yeah, the DX08, the DX09, the DX14, and the Batmobile. solid pieces. Like
Yep.
just I that DX08. I'd love to. Actually, I meant to ask you. So, I there's certain figures I would consider working backwards on if I found them for a price that I was happy to pay. Like I know that price isn't going to be cheap, but something I can go, yeah, I can justify that. Like but the DX09, did you put a custom cape on that?
Oh yes, mine actually came with the Jackson. The Jackson cape already. Yeah, so gotcha. I didn't have to worry about it, but it looks Batman 89, Batman Returns, even the BVS Batman, pretty much all of them except for Armored Batman. You really do need a custom cape to really put them over the top.
Gotcha. Shiny at 16fix. So Shiny's talking to Marco. What Harley did you get? He said the SS, the Suicide Squad one. That's the one with the, I think, baseball bat and the roller skates and stuff with the mouth open. No,
he got the original Suicide Squad Harley with the T-shirt, pistol, and the bat and the boots.
That's not the one with she has the kind of laughing mouth open face. No.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, that's I wasn't a fan of the film and I won't be picking it up, but like that is D1. Like that is D1. I think it looks very like Margot Robbie. Good evening from the UK. Good evening to you. From we worked that one out. I had a brain fart earlier on, but I'm back on task now. Marco 16fix. So nice. Love the head sculpt. I think the head sculpt's fantastic. DX08 is an amazing figure. One of the best Hot Toys sculpts. I definitely agree with you. I think that's great. And Mugwump, are the gents pining for any 1/6 figures that we have never got and may never see? If so, what are they? Off the top of my head, the MCU Hobgoblin. I want to see that one, the battle damage version with the torn hood and the head sculpt and the goggles and the battle damaged everything. I think that would be pretty cool. I know they released the Green Goblin one, but I would like the MCU Hobo Goblin style.
That'd be cool.
I think it's going to happen.
It'll happen.
But I think it will. Yeah, I think it will. Just have to wait another while. But what about you?
It's a good question. I know I'd really love to see Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy. I know they teased her 3 years ago, something like that. And I don't know if she'll ever get out of the graveyard, but that would be one that I would love to get. I'd love to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles done in 6 scale. And then John McClane from Die Hard would really make my day, because that was another staple in my childhood movie collection.
You're a VHS kid too, yeah?
Yep, I was.
All the way.
My parents would... we lived next to my grandparents, and when we'd rent videos, excuse me, we would grab her VCR, and we'd have the blank and then the rented copy, and we record it so we could have it. And that was all fine and dandy, but when I started burning DVDs, they're like, that's illegal, you can't do that. And I was like, well, what's the difference from what you did when I was a kid?
Yeah. That is gas. The Zoe Kravitz Catwoman as well, I would pick up. Because the only thing I pre-ordered in the last few months was the Batman and Bat Signal whole set from the Batman. Stuck that on a payment plan. Just wanted to get that out of the way. It's probably the most expensive thing in my wish list. So I said, I better start chipping away at some of these. Otherwise, I'm going to get stung when everything drops at the same time. So, the Zoe Kravitz, I really like how she portrayed the character. I think it's looking very unlikely to make it, but I think, some of these floating shelves next to me, and I think, that the whole set with the two of them like talking in front of the Bat Signal would be a nice scene.
Yeah.
But
even the Snyder Cut Justice League Joker would be good. I know we have the third party, but
the Nightmare one.
Yep.
Yeah, a post-apocalyptic one. That was the weirdest conversation. Jared Leto. I just. It's not just even in the Joker. It's like I just can't hack him. Like I don't know. I liked him in Fight Club, but then someone did absolutely mutilate him. So maybe that's what it was. Like, So obviously you're probably a Fight Club fan as well if you're a movie buff.
I do enjoy that movie. Yes, I haven't seen it for a while, but I do own it. It's one that I should watch.
Great
again.
film.
Because I don't
It's
even remember
wonderful.
Jared Leto being in it.
Yeah, he was in it. I won't spoil it for you, but yeah, you should go and watch it, especially if you don't like Jared Leto. Yeah, so getting back to this is the funniest username ever. Boba Fettuccine. What's up, folks? We have Mugwump and Boba Fettuccine in the house as well. All the names are coming in. Mario says, really happy for it, or with it. Graham helped me find it. Yeah, good stuff. Was that the
Harley?
The Harley. Mantis and the new Drax.
Drax would be nice.
Apparently
I don't know if there's
Drax.
I don't know if there's some likeness issues that they have with Dave Bautista, like with
The
WWE.
wrestling thing.
Yeah, so I don't know if that'll happen or not, but I would love a Drax. I was searching for that old one for a while, and I'm just like, I cannot pay top dollar for this figure with the small body, the exposed joints. The likeness is okay, but I'd love the figure, but I'm not going to spend big bucks to get him.
Here's a question for you, right? So, like, I watched Peacemaker, came out of nowhere, and loved it. I heard you talking about it before that you loved it as well. You enjoyed the show, yeah?
Yep.
I just can't. I have to watch the opening credits every single time. Just hilarious. But like the figure comes out and like it had more joints than a Willie Nelson concert, and it's like, what is going on? And then like you have this Thor who has like perfect seamless arms. Like, why couldn't they just do that for,
Because Hot Toys hates DC.
Yeah, they're definitely there's some sort of evidence there to support that argument. That's the classic Harley.
Any chance they fix it before?
No.
It's still on my wish list, but I'll have to see what it looks like when it comes out.
The thing is, there's a list of things that people weren't happy with. Like, it's
another open mouth.
The kind of the open mouth didn't bother me as much. I know he doesn't do that. I totally get that, but it was just those joints. It was just like, it just looked really cheap. It didn't look like a high-end collectible.
Yeah, and it was a small body too. It doesn't. It's not the size.
Yeah. She was long sold out when I first started collecting, so I'm regretting not collecting her. Yeah, I think everyone has that feeling. I have that with the DX08, the DX09, the DX13, all the DXs really. You guys see Boba Fett Arena? Yeah, we talked about it earlier on. I have less than no interest in it, and Graham, you think it looks cool?
It looks cool, but I'm not getting it.
Yeah, same. No, I don't have any interest in it. Plo Koon would be dope. We need more alien Jedis. Yeah, a lot of people, I think Kit Fisto is one people are calling out for as well. They showed off the new Drax a few years ago. It's San Diego. It's in the graveyard as well, unfortunately.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
I was the same. There were some decent deals out there. Stay patient. Yeah, I think like you will find things. I want me a 1/6 Columbo. That's the H in the detective. Yeah, it's from the series. It's a it's a show. I think Columbo's a. Am I right or wrong?
I don't know.
Columbo, I'm pretty sure it was like either a movie or a TV character. He was a detective. Mugwump, let me know if I'm even close or way off the mark on that. I have this image of this bald guy who's a detective. I sound like a detective now myself about him. All right. All right, so it's that time again. So what do I have for you? So you've discussed your pre-orders. This one, I don't know, you might have an answer for this, but who's your go-to like Hot Toys retailer, or do you have one? Like, I don't, but do you have anyone like you constantly go to, like, or?
No, I don't. I'm gonna go where I can get the best deal. I mean, a lot of times it's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be eBay or Sideshow, but I don't have like a preferred seller that I go to.
Gotcha.
I like Hawk Wars toys a lot. I bought a lot of stuff from him, from Ray, but at the same time, his prices have kind of creeped up lately. So I mean, there's things in stock that I can get for cheaper at Sideshow. So I'll just, if I can save money, that's what I'm gonna do. But I've also started going on the like the buy sell trade, the Facebook groups, because you can usually get some pretty good deals there. You just got to kind of work with the person on the other end. And I was kind of fearful of doing that for the longest time, but once you start doing it, it's pretty easy, pretty painless. I've bought a few figures. I actually got my Jack Sparrow DX15 for a pretty decent price from a seller there, and I think that's all. Maybe I bought. Oh no, I got my RoboCop too from a seller. So
I'm on the hunt for that.
Yeah,
I'm on the hunt for that. How much did you pay? Did you get the DX, or did you get the 202 with the diecast?
The RoboCop, the diecast RoboCop. Yeah, I got
the swap out battle damage parts.
Yep. It didn't come with the chair, just the single. A figure, but I think I paid with shipping $425.
That's really good.
Yeah,
that's good, because I'm looking for one on an Irish site now. Seller wants €450 for it, which is about maybe $470. I offered €375. He politely declined, and I'm thinking about maybe ordering. They basically offering 400, and then with shipping it only cost me €10. So you're talking probably around what you paid for it. So it's good to know. Just on that, actually, I have a story for. There's 32 people watching in the chat at the moment, and I would strongly urge you to hang on at the very least for the next 2 minutes. I'd like if you'd hang on to the end of the show and subscribe and all that. But I'm going to tell you a story here now, and I'm going to be as honest and transparent as I could possibly be. And I found this interesting, Graham, and hopefully you and some people in the chat. Instantly, 2 people left. I love it. So about a month ago, I was doing an Instagram live, and I noticed Lion Rock Toys were on the they were tuning into the live Instagram show I was doing. There was only about 10 people there, so you kind of knew who was there. And they turned up a few times, and I'd heard that Bob Dylan say good things about him, and the Clone Collector as well, and some other basically collecting veterans say that they were good, and one of their things were they're a Hong Kong based reseller who offer free worldwide shipping even if you have an Iron Man. So I was like, oh, this is a bit too good to be true, and I went on to the site, and yeah, sure enough, they have they do offer free worldwide shipping. But what they actually do is they price in the shipping into the price, which so it's not it's not necessarily free worldwide shipping, but they're factoring in. So you look at it and you're like, that's my final price, which I do kind of like. But they're messaging me on Instagram, and basically we were messaging back and forth a few times, like, oh, thanks for tuning in, or they're like, thanks we saw your collection, we like your collection, blah blah. And they basically put out the idea of would you be interested in working together? And they said, I was like, well, what did you have in mind? And they said, well, we'll sell you figures for a drop down price, and then you review them first. And I said, right, that sounds great, but my whole thing is that I don't want to be tied to any company. I have no loyalty. I want to shop around for the best deal. So that mightn't necessarily work for me, but maybe we could work something out. So what I suggested was, I do not want to buy figures for the sake of reviewing them. I don't want to get into that. I'm a collector. I'm not doing that. That's too much stress. I like to curate at the best of times. So I said, right, when I said, okay, I'm looking for a transport trooper. So what's your best price for transport trooper? And they gave me it, and I was like, okay, right, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do my own research and find the cheapest transport trooper I can get delivered, taking into account customs and everything. And that's what I did. So I went around to my usual people that I buy from, and I found it cheaper than them. So I was like, right, this is the cheapest price that I found. Can you beat that? If you beat it, yeah, I'll buy from you and I'll do your review. And they did, significantly. Wow. So I didn't have to pay for shipping, which is fine. And they marked the value down. And I'm not sure if you understand, or you know this, Graham, but in Ireland, anything over €100 that we import, we pay 30% on.
Okay.
So if I buy a Stormtrooper Commander, which is the cheapest figure from Sideshow, is $220, it's going to cost me it used to cost $40. Now a standard 6 scale costs about $50 to get to my door. Luke Skywalker, the Snowsweeper, $50 it cost me. I got it in during the week. So now they're creeping up. So that's like $270 right there, because it's over €100. You factor in another 30%, and it gets pricey. So I explained this to them because I know that other companies who I won't name do mark down the values.
Right.
So sure enough, the figure came in. They charged me via PayPal the competitive price, and I said I'd agree to do the video, no problem. And I put up my first video today. It's a review on the Transport Trooper. It's up there if anyone wants to take a look at it. And I tell the story, so it's full transparency, because people aren't going to get that same deal because I'm doing some work for it. I'm actually doing the review.
Right.
But then when I sent them, this is Lion Rock Toys, when I sent them the video going, look, this is the video, maybe throw an eye in it. I have your website in the description. I put your logo up and I explained how this came about and was very above board. And they're like, oh, thanks for that. Appreciate it. I look forward to business in the future. I don't have to buy if there's no contract or whatever. It's kind of like a case by case basis. If they give me the best price, I'll buy from them. If they don't, I won't. But they said, could you, the next one, mention that you didn't have to pay customs or import charges? And I didn't mention that because I didn't think that they'd want me to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I wonder.
I sent him a voice note back and typed, goes, look, are you sure you want me to mention that? Because I didn't think you'd want me to. But they said, no, mention that in your next video. So they obviously want people to order from them because they're going to mark the values down. And they told me, tell people that. So just for the 37 people in the chat, if you are looking for a Hong Kong-based reseller, they do offer free world shipping. More accurately, they have their shipping included in the price on their new website, but they're going to mark down prices. I would urge you, if you are buying from them and you are buying in the UK or Europe and you're subjected to these taxes, I would definitely mention to them, by the way, I'm in England, I'm in Ireland, I'm in wherever in the EU, I'm going to get stung for customs if you don't mark down the values. Please mark down the values. And I'm sure they will. And if they do, happy days, major savings for me anyway, going forward. How long will it last? I don't know, but they've literally told me, I have the message, they said, say that in your next video. They want people to know that they're doing that. So I thought that was an interesting one. So they definitely have my attention.
What was the company called again?
Lion Rock Toys.
Lion Rock, okay.
Lion Rock Toys. It's like Lion Rock and then Toys is spelled with a Z, .com. So like I said, the prices you see, they're the prices including shipping, but I would definitely follow up with, look, I'm in, especially if you're in Ireland or England and you're going to get charged for that big customs tax, because that's the killer. I've made my peace with the price of these figures. I've made my peace with the shipping. But if someone comes along and goes, we're going to do free worldwide shipping, and also we're going to say the value is under $100, because I know companies are doing it. I'm not going to mention them because that's not fair, but this company told me mention that in your next video, so I did. Sorry, a bit of a side note, but I thought that was interesting. So I'm hoping I was in contact with them today, and I was kind of going, okay, I'm on the fence about the Batman and Nightmare Batman and Joker. What's the best price you can give me? As I know that because I'm going to make a video, I'm going to get a bit more special treatment. Right. But if the standard collector is avoiding paying customs for that, that's a win, So we're going to move on to the future then. We've discussed the past, we've discussed the present, and this one is the tricky one. So I'm going to ask a few warm-up questions, Graham. Number one, do you see yourself collecting in 5 years' time?
I do, yeah.
Do you still see yourself collecting in 10 years' time?
I do.
Do you ever see a time in your life where you will not collect anything? Would you think you're a collector for life? Or as in that could be anything. I'm not saying have to continue a YouTube channel. I'm not saying get a figure in every week. I'm not saying would you think there's always going to be a portion of your collection you have behind you with you?
I think so. Maybe it'll slim down. Maybe I'll keep everything I have, but maybe just kind of stop getting new things that might happen, or maybe some life-changing event will happen and I'll have to sell mostly everything. I do know the figures that I would sell first if stuff happens. I kind of, you look at your collection and you're like, well, these are for sure ones I'm keeping as long as I can. But at the same time, I know that they're just figures. While I really enjoy the hobby and I do love collecting and I love the community, I know they're figures, and I don't want to say cut off the emotional attachment, because some of them I do have a pretty good emotional attachment to, but like if I had to, for most of them I could, move on from them if it meant, my health or, whatever the case may be. Priorities, right.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's I guess that's a question I really never think of. Like, do I see myself 60 years old and still collecting Hot Toys? Maybe. But I also know I'm not going to let it take over my whole basement, because my wife won't let it. So so like that's the thing too.
Sounds like she knows, and she's eventually convinced you.
So that's why I'm also a big believer in kind of using my collection to fund my collection. You got to be careful with it and only sell figures that you don't have that deep emotional attachment to. But like, again, using it to create space, create funds, and then it just makes the collecting hobby a little bit easier. Having like some figures I can have for a time and be like, this was fun, but now I want to move on to this, or maybe get the 2.0 or the upgraded version. So yeah, I would hope that I'm still collecting, because I really do enjoy it, but I guess you just never know.
This is true. When you I'm not a religious man, but I do like the phrase, when you make plans, God smiles.
Right.
So although that suggests a very evil God. I hope he's not like that if he does exist. I'm not, again, we're not going to talk about religion or politics, but attention-seeking geek. He's feeling under the weather at the moment. I wish him a speedy recovery. That COVID, no joke. So I hope you're okay. Graham, watched your tips on buying on eBay. Love your Green Bay display. Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.
Green Bay Packers, would it be?
Yep.
Ryan Smith, you pay 30% duty in Ireland, we pay 20% in UK, and I thought it was bad. Yeah, again, like it's not as straightforward as that, but basically over €100, I think it's €100 is the threshold, you are subjected to VAT or import taxes at a rate of, I think it's around 30%, based not only on the price of the thing you import, but the price that you paid for shipping, because it's goods and services. So yeah, so I know that there are companies that have been used to completely mark the values down, so people did not pay customs, or significantly reduce the value on the import docket, so that people didn't pay as much. But sounds like Lion Rock are gonna drop it down. And again, I found it hard to believe when they told me they wanted everyone to know. So I would back up with if you're interested in buying from them, I would definitely send an email just to confirm, like, will you please mark this down. I've been checking out Lion Rock, love the all-inclusive pricing. Yeah, they do say free worldwide shipping, but we know, let's be honest, that's what they're doing, is they're factoring in the price of the shipping with them, because I kind of get that, because they have to get it to you. They're not going to ship it for free. But I'd like seeing the final price, but definitely another one to consider. And I'm not tied to them in any way, really. I'm not obliged to say that, just that's my experience, but I've got a better deal because I agreed to do the review, which is proper order. It took me like an hour or two. Toys Buying Agent used to mark things down. But I still enjoyed it. So it doesn't seem like work, yourself.
Right.
Toys Buying Agent used to mark them down. Yeah, but they're doing is they're still marking the value lower than it should be. So the customs isn't as much. I'll give you an example, Graham. You won't believe this. What's the price on the Snowspeeder, Luke? Is it $265? $265. That cost me $50 to get over here, so I'm already on, what's that? $315. Right. So then I got the notification from DHL said, your package from Sideshow Collectibles, because it was one of the few that I've left in Sideshow Collectibles, is in the country. This is the import tax, €90.
Jeez.
€90. That was the most I've ever paid. It's like even that's not immune to inflation. So, like, if you could save €90 every time in a 6-scale figure, this is why I don't I can't really buy from Sideshow. I need to look around at the Devil's Workshop and factor in points and all this kind of stuff. I think we pay anything over £30 to £40. Yeah, £30 to £40. That's about $60. Bearded Nerdy Oaf. All the good names are in today. Good morning, good evening, morning all. And I live in Switzerland. I'm buying from Sideshow since I have made payment plans. I do like payment plans, and thought the shipping costs were okay. But as you were saying, when I sum it all up, it's more expensive than Hong Kong shipped. This is the thing. My advice to anyone would be open a Sideshow tab and pin it to your desktop. Do the same for whoever, whether it's Toys Buying Agent, Lion Rock Toys, T-Dubs, Comic Concepts, Comics Santorum, whoever. Pin them all and look, cross-check the figure and cross-check the shipping. Cross-check everything. If you save $10, it's worth it.
Right.
Yeah, you know, and then it's up to you. Like, because if someone if you've heard bad things about a company, like I know a lot of people bash on Toys One, and then it's up to you to make up your own mind, do your judgment call, and kind of decide is it worth the risk or not. And if it's not, it's not. Go to the next best option. But I would definitely advise people to cross-check. I pay almost $50 plus another 45 in taxes. Yeah, Toys Buying Agent are declaring full price now, as they got scammed by someone in the UK, but will mark it down for a lot. There's always one. There's always someone who ruins it for the rest of us. So, I think we're nearly at. Oh, sorry, the future. So, like you do see yourself collecting basically in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, in some sort, barring some touch wood catastrophe where you have to sell your figures, but you may downsize, but there'll always be something, I'd imagine, if you had to downsize.
I mean, I don't think I've ever really cleared out of any hobby fully. Like, I still have a lot of like sports cards. They're at my parents' house, but I still have them, I guess, technically. I still have like 40 Funko Pops or so, you know, so I had 200, I think, at the most, and I've narrowed it down to like 40. Some of them I just bought loose, like the Marvel ones, just to display in a bat case. So, you know, I think I have like maybe 20 in the box left, so not much, but I still really do, you know, there's some that just have that emotional attachment that I can't get rid of just yet. So I don't think I'll ever fully get out, and I hope I can kind of just keep going. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself too, if I keep going for 30 more years, what's my collection going to look like? So, I mean, am I going to look like Fab's Figures, where I got my whole basement wall-to-wall cabinets and stuff like that?
Nah, man, you'll look divorced.
That's yeah. I'll be living in an apartment, so I won't be able to do that. But
yeah.
You know, I'm blessed right now enough to have a pretty decent space, so it's not an issue. But I think that's always what I'm thinking about too, is just keeping the figures I really love, and just kind of making sure that the space isn't like getting out of control, I guess. And for anybody that does have a lot of stuff, that's cool too. For me, it's just, this room is multifunctional, so my kids play down here as well. So it's just,
I guess
I want to keep it as clean as possible. And, you know, maybe it's a lot of like just updated figures, and then I don't have a problem selling the one that it's just kind of replacing. So yeah, we'll see.
No, that makes sense.
Taking it a day at a time.
Yeah, I think about it sometimes, like, and you know, I think like the way you described, you had your Detolfs and you had one figure per Detolf and you loved it, and then you had two and it looked, it still looked okay,
good,
but then when there was more than that, it was like yeah, and I totally get that. At the moment, it's like if something makes sense to have two, like the Boba Robo just looks so well together in the cube that I can't not like. Yeah, no, I get that though. I think I'd probably move towards rotating, or who knows, I might take the plunge and get magic cases in the future. But
I could never get into rotating.
Yeah,
like if it wasn't,
it takes a lot of effort.
Well, yeah, and I'm like,
it does take a lot of effort and time.
If I can't enjoy it on the shelf, what's like?
That is a good point. Yeah.
So the collection will look
great in your new. The collection will look great in your new Marco.
It'll be my living room,
ruining everything. Yeah.
It'll be like the hallways just got like the superhero pictures. The living room's got some Magi cases. The bedroom, my dresser will be a Magi case display. You know.
Yeah, that is funny. That is a good one. Okay, so look, Graham, this kind of actually ties into what we were speaking about the future and stuff like that. And I'd invite people in the chat, if you haven't answered this question before on previous live streams or something. This is the one how I like to finish off all the live streams. So touch wood, this never happens, but let's say your house goes on fire. Touch wood, it will never happen. It's a bit dark, I know. And you know, your family and your wife and your kid and your dog they're all safely outside. Everything's okay. You have enough time to rescue, not 1, not 2, not 3. I know it is 3. Yeah, you can't anymore. No more than 3. Okay, you can't take 4. You have to take 3 1/6 scale figures. What are your 3 fire figures? What are the 3 that will be rescued?
Does that include a vehicle or no?
No, come on now. No chancing, right? I've seen you put Mario through the paces on that the game, the versus game, and this is karma now coming back towards you, right? You pick 3 1/6 scale, and that's the only thing. What are your 3 fire figures?
Well, the first one's pretty easy. It's going to be the DX8 Joker, because that is one of, choice. If not the favorite in my collection. And then, you know, I was thinking Rogue One Vader, but then I'm like, if I'm running out of a fire, I should probably grab figures that maybe it would be hard to get again too. Like I can always pick up another Vader. Like, you know, there's always going to be a Vader out there. So maybe I should maybe it would be like the DX13, or maybe it should be, you know, something really rare or something that means the most to me. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to look for loopholes here.
I see what you're doing.
If I'm just going off of my favorites, I would do the DX8 Joker, the Rogue One Darth Vader, and then it would have to be a Batman. So this is really tough. It'd probably be the DX9 Batman, or
I was thinking when I asked the question before, I was thinking he's going to pick the 8, the 9, and I didn't know the third one. Because it just made sense with how the 89, how you feel about the 89.
It's
Batman.
Tough because I really do love like the DX13 as well, but I don't know if it's like top 3. I don't know.
And
it's like picking your favorite food, I always say, because I love pizza, but I also love having a steak, but they're totally different. It's hard to pick.
Yeah. And even like, you know, a killer cheeseburger, it's not the same as a fillet steak, but it's still a cheeseburger. Like, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Just you spell your names at G or AEME?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, because I know just people can spell it the other way as well.
Okay, I think it is. I think it's more common across the pond as well. I think.
Yeah, it is.
Is it Australia that it's more common, or England?
I've definitely in England and Ireland. I know in Ireland, like a lot of people would spell it G or AHAM.
Yeah. I know. Like here, nobody will ever spell it correctly here. Nobody really even pronounces it right here. It's either like Graham, Graham. Somebody's even called me Jeremy.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
Yeah, and then spelling it too, because I always have to check in when I'm going to work to buildings for COVID. So you got to write your name, or they have to write your name, and I'm spelling it GRAEME. And by the time they get past the A, they're already putting the H or something, or they're scribbling it out, or it's just like it's fine, whatever.
I get Americans tend to do it a lot. I say my name is Shane, and 2 minutes later they call me Sean. They get the message when I stop responding to them, like you know. Yeah, like people Sean, just blank them, like you know.
People do that here too, where they ask what my name is, and I say my name's Graham, and then they'll call me Grant or something like that. And
That's strange.
I'm bad with names too, though. So
yeah, that's all right, Steve. Don't worry about it. So, have either of you had a figure that you've fallen out of love with?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Could you name one off the top of your head, or?
You go first.
Oh God. I'm not sure if I fell out of love with it, or I just realized there was a much better, superior version coming down the tracks. I had the Heath Ledger Joker from The Dark Knight. I think it was probably the first one they did. It wasn't the DX11 or the one with the coat running. It was just the basic purple coat, straight up and down, came with like a handgun and a knife. It was a great figure, but I just realized it was starting to look a bit dated compared to my other figures, and I was like, no, there's definitely a better version. They're going to do that, the Joker 3.0, but then of course InArt stepped in, and I was like, yeah, I'll take that. So that joke, and it wasn't even that it was bad. It was just I knew that there was better versions out there. What about you, Graham?
Figures that, I mean, the ones like I said before, I think there was some that I was thinking I would fall in love with, and then I never did. And then I sold them. Like I thought, oh, I think I would like this figure. And like Commander Cody, some of the clone troopers, even I guess maybe Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. I think I loved it when I first had it, but then I don't know. I just started thinking I really want a New Hope Obi-Wan instead. Bank Robber Joker was one that I fell out of love with, but then it turns out I got it back. So what is it? You know, did I really fall out of love with it? I don't know. But it was one that I had for a while, and then I think once I got the DX11, I was just like, eh. But then I sold the DX11 waiting for the in art, and I'm like, well, I can't not have a Joker, so I got the Bank Robber Joker. Maybe the Crow figure. I did love that one when I first had it, but all of that pleather really just kind of scares the hell out of me. So I did sell that one, kind of just because some of those pleather figures you don't like posing, you know, you don't want to mess with because you just don't want to damage that pleather. So I was like, yeah, I'm selling that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so this is soul destroying. This story is absolutely soul destroying. Don't leave things at your parents' house. I had a Michael Jackson Thriller signed and a letter of authority when he died. They were selling for £25,000.
Wow.
That's must be like $30,000. I rushed to get it, but my dad had sold it on a boot yard sale for £2. I am really, really sorry about to hear that. Mugwump, Ripley, Ron Perlman, Hellboy, and Robocop. You fell.
I want that
Robocop.
Ripley.
I want that Robocop.
That's good. Gotta get the Robocop.
Vader has already
He's fireproof.
Fire. Oh, this guy's telling us his
Yep,
sorry. All right, yeah.
Sorry,
I thought he was saying figures he fell in love with. This is his fire figures. Vader's already.
That Ripley is really expensive, by the way, over here.
Yeah, no doubt. She's like a real. When I think of like strong female characters that are believable, well written, well acted, well scripted, my mind goes straight to Sarah Connor and Ripley. It's no coincidence, like they had the same director as well for the most part, really. But
right.
Definitely that 89 Joker is a gem. Sadly, I sold it. Thanks for reading my comments, by the way. Great stream, very interesting. Subscribe to both channels since for a while. No problem, man. Like if you're going to go to the trouble of typing it, you know, I'll usually read it unless it's blatant bashing. Then I have to block you. Thank you. I picked up the Kenner Boba by mistake and planned on returning it, but it's one of my favorite figures. That's cool. It really pops in this. Oh, this is the 6 scale, the Kenner vintage colorway one. You know, the one they did that.
Is that the gray?
They put the same color palette code, like as if you bought the little 3 3/4 inch ones. It was really cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So, just what's coming up in your channel, Graham?
Well, last week I did a review, like a flashback review on the A New Hope Obi-Wan figure, so you guys can check that out if you have any interest. Also did the Snowspeeder Luke review. Took a break from the live streaming just with the holiday and everything, so I will get back to that next Monday night. It's 8:30, I guess it's 9:30 Eastern time. I'm not sure exactly what that comes out to on your time, Shane, but
middle of the night Wednesday.
So you might catch it on rewatch if you want. But I did film the Batmobile review and / story of how I got it, so that should be dropping probably Friday. It's pretty much ready to go, but I think I'm gonna have it come out Friday because that's usually when my videos come out. And then Empire Strikes Back Yoda is coming tomorrow, so I'll probably be reviewing that. I have the Return of the Jedi Scout Trooper on the way. I didn't get the speeder. I just couldn't swing the big price tag, so I did get that. And then, like I was telling Shane earlier, I want to do a video on things I wish I knew when I first started collecting Hot Toys. So I'll probably do that in the next couple weeks as well. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff in the pipeline. And I honestly think I'm gonna do a pre-order live stream here soon. So maybe you and I can get that going or something.
100%. Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun as well. I just find if I see a thumbnail like that, it's like, yeah, I'm guaranteed going to watch that, because I just find it interesting what different collectors would watch. So yeah, if you haven't already subscribed to the Jedi Knights Watch on YouTube, please do so, and also follow at the Jedi Knights Watch on Instagram. So I'm just going to go through what's coming up my channel. I think I have something that I made from the last stream I was on, so I'll flick through some of these. Oh yeah, so I did this a few weeks back. I just looked at some data analysis on the lifetime of my channel, and it came out at about 50-50 split.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was happy with that. So and then I basically outlined this and then rechecked a week later, and so I've got 54% of the people, the watch time, 50% out of all the watch time on my channel, 54% comes from people who are subscribed and 46 not subscribed. So I'm getting there and I'm happy with it. Yeah, this is up and live. That I said blogger photos were amazing on this. The blogger just went all out. So this just a release reaction to the blogger photos that's up and running on the site. This is basically outlined.
Look at that handsome guy.
Heavily photoshopped. It's a 20-year-old photogram. This is what I look like when I don't wear a hat or glasses. Yeah, so look, Toys Wonderland, like, they get a lot of slack. I tried to give a balanced opinion of my encounters with them. I outlined the pros and the cons. Now, I could be just having the look of the Irish, that most of my the vast majority of my experiences with them are positive. They're definitely not perfect, but look, if you want to check it out, I give a balanced, kind of an objective view on my experience with them thus far. They're not perfect, they can do better, but there's saving to be made if you know when to strike. We're doing this right now. Monday, I have brother Cousins on. I'm really looking forward to this. This is the first ever review. I got this from Lion Rock Toys, and again, I'm very transparent in the interview, or not the interview, the review. I outlined how this came about. I outlined that I have been given a subsidized figure for this to compensate for the time spent making the review, but it was fun and I'd do it anyway. And I was always going to get this, so it's a very, very biased review because I love Troopers. But yeah, maybe want to check out Lion Rock Toys, make your own mind then if you want to go with them. And I think that's pretty much me done. So is there anything else you want to add? Or
you got to bring up the shiny comment.
I will do. I think
seeing us out.
I appreciate that. Right, and he's blocked. No, I appreciate that humor. Thanks to Sean, and Sean that is like spelled like Sean White, you know, the snowboarder,
right? Yep.
Like, yeah, so that's how he spells it, the American way, to Sean and Grant. Yeah, we might actually do a live stream together, the Sean and Grant show, just for the laugh. Great show as ever. Really appreciate that, Maverick Collector. Mugwump, I just like saying it. Fun show. Have a great evening. Ryan, great show. Guys, love both your channels. Really do appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Thank you. It's great to be streaming with Graham, seeing as it's one of the guys I was subscribed to about a year before I started my own channel. So it's like, they say never meet your heroes. I disagree.
I don't know about that, but that's very flattering. No, it's I just want to say thank you for inviting me to your stream as well, and then also just kind of being flexible with your time, and working around kind of my schedule. So
man, no problem. No problem at all. It's easier for me at the moment. I've the next 2 months off, and I don't have kids, so I understand there's two jobs basically you're working there.
Right.
And you've got to look after the dog as well. So so there's
She's still sleeping at least.
Yeah. But no, we'll definitely stream again. Really looking forward to it. And that's it. Gonna close it off there, folks. Thanks very much for watching, and see ya.
See ya.